I had seen these TicWatches everywhere, and I was curious about them because I am a fan of wearables, and it is one that's a little different. I've tried the Moto ones, I've tried the Garmin ones, I've tried the Samsung, the Apple Watch, all the rest of them. So when I do see a new smartwatch, I'm always curious. Then they reach out to me and said, hey, do you want one for review? And I said, absolutely. So full disclosure there, they did. They were nice enough to send this out to me, and I'm a cheap date, but I'm not that cheap, I promise. So you're still going to get the things I like and don't like about it. And one of the things that I do like about it, you can see right there at the front, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So I do like a lot of things about it. It impressed me over the course of a week, a lot more than I thought it would, but it should though, because that price tag is not a minor league price tag. When you come in at $3, it's not a matter of, well, it's a $50 or $100 watch. If it doesn't work well, if I don't like it, if it breaks in a year, I could just throw it away and get another one. This one, you better have some longevity and you better have some quality control about it, and it better work well, or else it's not going to be even close to worth the $300 price tag, because that's when you're getting up into Galaxy Watch territory, right? You start getting into the smaller Apple Watches and all the rest of it. So at $300, you have to deliver. Now, the one thing they do at $300 is give you a beautiful, nice, big display, because it's very tough at this price point even to get I think it's either 47 or 48 millimeter display, which is quite nice and high quality, because when you're talking the cheaper price ranges on the Galaxy Watch, you're talking the 40 or the 42 or something like that. So you're not quite in the big readable range, and that makes a difference. It doesn't wear as large as some of the, as you would imagine, a 47 millimeter watch, a regular watch, something like this from longislandwatch.com, link in the description, would, because it's a smartwatch, but you do get to use that extra display area. And the great thing about this is that when you think about some of these companies, you worry about the updates, you worry about security, you worry about support. This runs Wear OS, and it's one of the few watches that will be getting Wear OS 3 when that Samsung exclusivity deal runs out sometime this year. It's the Fossil watches, it's a couple other ones, the Fossil Gen 6, not even the Gen 5. A few of the other ones, and then this guy right here and some of the other offerings from TicWatch, because this is the TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS. Clearly the person who was naming this just came from their previous job at Samsung, but quite nice. So let's talk about some of the other things. Snapdragon 4100 processor and a gig of RAM, which is going to allow that Wear OS 3.0 update. We'll talk about Wear OS a little bit later on. Screen is great, and that is one of the reasons why. Look at that nostalgic Indiglow that you get, because of this dual layer display they talk about. Essentially, and you've seen this with the Moto watches and a couple other Wear OS devices, but the difference here is you get that always on layer, right? You get the LCD that's always on, and then of course you could raise it, get the Indiglow portion. You could change the color. That's customizable there, which is good. You get some stuff here between the date and time. You get more than that. You get the steps as well in the seconds. But what's great about it is a lot of times when you have these dual LCDs and it's always on, it's just kind of front lit. It's not great. You don't get a high res display LCD on the inside, but on this one, that's that dual layer. You go ahead, open it up, and you get a nice high definition, high res display, which is absolutely fantastic to use and look at. And it is very nice to the eye. It goes right up there with the Samsung displays and the Apple Watch displays as far as smartwatches is concerned. Very nice. Build quality, it's not all metal, okay? So you get metal on the bezel here, which does not rotate. It's just kind of there. But you could use it. It's got time markers, so you could count out seconds and stuff, especially if you have a watch face that goes ahead and does that. It's nice because it's a high-quality polycarbonate plastic, okay? So it's not cheap plastic. It's not brittle plastic. But it's like those Garmin watches. It's not, the Samsung ones are all metal and all aluminum, which is nice, okay? Or stainless steel, whatever they make them out of. I think it's aluminum. Very nice. However, if you're wearing it 24 hours a day in your sleep, it's very heavy. It's bulky to wear. You wind up clubbing your significant other or something like that in your sleep. If you want to wear something that's going to track your sleep and have it be something that you use 24 hours a day, you're going to want the high quality build, but you're going to want it a little bit lighter. And this one certainly delivers on that. Does a great job with notifications. Is Bluetooth 5.0, so it's fantastic going back and forth. As soon as I get a notification, not only does it pop up here, but when I dismiss it, that little dot goes away. And one of these watches is absolutely a must, especially when you pair it with something like a Z Flip 3 or a Surface Duo, something that's closed or any sort of foldable that doesn't really have a front screen that you'd use for notifications, because this nice big bright display, you could read the entire thing, you could click into notifications. It's great. YouTube comments, I've been able to see them all on this watch all week. If you comment on one of my videos, it pops up. I click in, I can read the entire message. Really nice. Emails, color, full color. You get pictures on here. It's great, that big wide display, but it's great to not have to open up my Z Flip 3, use up that battery, and make that conscious effort to open the phone when I could go ahead in here and dismiss it right away. And let's talk about battery for this guy, because this is, I will give them credit now. This is the first company with a wearable who quoted a number who actually came up over the number. So they said 72 hours on their basic mode, which is advanced mode, which is using battery saving features, and 45 days on basically just this, which is fine. No one's going to use it like that. But I turned the brightness up a tick. There's 5 brightness levels. I put it up to 4. I turned on 24-hour monitoring for my heart rate and my blood oxygen level, and I got over 3 days of battery time, which is great. Because the one thing that annoys me about the Galaxy Watches of the world and all the rest of them, the Apple Watch of the world, is when you go in and see. So I'll turn it, see if it, what's this doing there? See what thing is it. When you go in there and you get 24 hours of battery life, or some of them could stretch to 30. What's the point? If you have all this sleep tracking stuff and everything that they want us to wear these things 24 hours a day, if I got to charge it, when am I supposed to do that? You want me to wear it in my sleep? What am I supposed to make sure I have time every day, either at the office or when I'm out? What if I'm going out? I don't have time to charge. I got to decide whether I want to track my sleep that night or not. Nonsense. If you give us those features but not the battery life to actually use them, what point is it? What difference does it make? So that's the one thing I like about this. You could charge this up on a Friday, take it with you over the weekend if you're going away or something like that, and not have to worry about it. You absolutely have battery left with you on Monday morning, which is huge. Huge, because you can then wear it all night, all day, not have to worry. Water resistant, by the way, you can wear it in the shower. It monitors AFib and EKG, all the rest of that stuff, so it can tell you if you're having a regular heartbeat. Blood oxygen sensor, like I said. And like I said with all of these, if you notice a slight drop, 5% drop in your blood oxygen level, or if you notice a slightly off heartbeat, are you updating your will? No, but if you notice it over a longer length of time, if you're noticing 20% less on your blood oxygen level for a week, perhaps make a doctor's appointment. I think that's usually how you have to react when it comes to stuff like this. The tracking is accurate. I compared it against my Fitbit Charge 5. No issues there. Step for step, beat for beat. I didn't really have a big issue there. There's always going to be some variations in steps between Garmin and Fitbit and Apple and all the rest of it because they calculate it slightly differently, but no real issues there. It does have the GPS in here if you want to go solo GPS, but I highly recommend just staying on dynamic. That way, if you have your phone within range, it could go ahead and borrow the GPS from the phone and not kill the battery on the watch itself. There's a bunch of watch faces that you want because it's Wear OS, right? So you can go in, you could get a bunch of watch faces through the Play Store and all the rest. I stuck with the ones, and we're going to show the app in a moment. It's going to be a long video, but there's a lot to go over here. I stuck with the ones that they had in their default. And you can see this one here, I picked it out because when I noticed this a lot on the Samsung. When you start going to the third-party ones, you get abnormal battery drain. If they're not optimized right, if they're pulling from the sensors like the heart rate and all the rest of it over and over and over again and not doing it properly, you're going to get abnormal battery drain and it just stinks. So I stick with the official ones, no cat ones. Of course, that's a major negative, but anyway, we power through just the same. But it's nice. You get enough of a watch face there to play with. And the other thing, which is a lot of watches do, is the 20mm watch band, but it has the quick release so you can put your own bands on there. The base one is nice, actually. It's a little thicker, fluoroelastomer, I don't know if they can even call it that, but that rubberized material, but it's nice, it's thick, it doesn't feel cheap, so you're not getting robbed there. But if you have 22mm bands, like those other ones, quick release for any other smartwatch you have, go ahead, pop those out, swap them out. You can put spring bars in there, put regular watch bands on there, no issue whatsoever. But overall, it's quite nice. Wear OS, if you've used it, you used it. They put some of their tick stuff on top of it. Exercise, health, all the rest of it. We'll go into exercise real quick so you can see all these ones. High knee clap, front raise, freestyle, football, fishing. There's over 100 different ones. Burpees, things that I would never be at risk of doing. Some high activity items here that I won't. Curling they have even. They don't have bowling, but they have curling, which I found to be odd. But they have a bunch of stuff in there. You can access that through that menu there, or you could go ahead. This pusher is exclusively for the exercises. This one is to activate the menu. Also, if you hold this for 3 seconds, you get your Google Assistant. Go ahead, do anything there, talking to that. The mic works fine. Speaker works fine for calls. No issues whatsoever. Let's go into the app real quick, because the one downside that I noticed is if you use it for sleep tracking, you've got this app here, which is their app, okay, which is nice. It gives you fatigue and keeps track of stuff and see it updates there, and it gives you the sleep tracking, which I like. But the problem is with the sleep tracking, it's a pain to update. You got to go into the app, make sure it refreshes, go back to the Wear OS app, and make sure that's connected to the watch, because you got stuff that you could do in here, stuff that you could do in the mobvoi app. And it just gets to a point where you're like, I wish it connected a little bit better. And the problem is in Bluetooth, because with Bluetooth 5, you could leave the room, leave range, come back. It works just fine. And the app itself is nice. But sleep, for some reason, you got to click in and out of menus and then finally updates. And the information's nice. And it's accurate, because I compared it to the Fitbit Charge 5. It's nice, but it's just odd. And I don't know if that's a Wear OS thing or if that's a TicWatch thing. And in my experience, my previous experience makes me think it's Wear OS. Because while Wear OS 2 point whatever has matured a heck of a lot, but then the last time I used it on that Moto 3, whatever it was, watch, it's got a little bit ways to go in terms of performance. There's still some app crashes here and there, but overall was pretty stable once you got it going. Once you got it updated, you got the Play Store on there you could do stuff with, timer, weather, stuff. It's just a really overall nice experience. Swiping works, you get your weather, you get the heart rate stuff, measuring blood oxygen, but overall, it's just a great experience. It made me stop and think, because I was thinking $300, that's a heck of a lot. Link will be in the description where to buy on Amazon. They just ran it. They just had a sale for $250. So if you want to wait for one of that, $250, I think it's a no-brainer. And $300 is more of a conversation. But like I said, you get the premium features, you get the premium build, but you get the upgrades as well, and the support that comes with the knowing you're going to get Wear OS 3, and it's got the hardware, the internal hardware, to run it and run it well. That's something that at least should give you peace of mind spending that kind of money, because the last thing you want to do is spend $300 on a smartwatch, and when you could have spent $300 on a Samsung watch, see the Samsung supported for 3 and 4 years, and this thing left for dead in about 6 months. So it's going to get Wear OS 3. That way it has Google on the updates as opposed to just TicWatch or mobvoi on the updates, so you know there's some security there in the future. And it's got the Snapdragon 4100, which is so important for these smartwatches. The notification, the great battery life, water resistant, the tracking accuracy, lots to like here. The app is fine. You're using the Wear OS app, and you can use the other app as well to kind of go into the stress and the fatigue and all the rest of the data. But if you're looking for a smartwatch, you don't want something Apple, I love that dual display. And that indigo, that's great, because I love looking down and just being able to see the time on a watch. Who would have thought? On a watch, you could look down and see the time all the time without having to flip it up and use the full display. You just get that liquid crystal display there with the backlighting so you can see it. And then if you need something, you go ahead and tap in, and then you're right in, or you can hit the pusher and you're right in. And what's great is if you get a notification, flip it up, even from the other screen, it'll come into that, and you can see the notification, so you don't have to do that dual tap, which is great. Overall, I was surprised by the quality. I know now why people like them. Really neat. Like the fact that it has that security. I like the build quality of it. Works well. All the rest of it, I really like that dual display. I think that's something that sets it apart. So if you're looking for something that's not Samsung, looking for something that's not Apple, the same old thing, the Moto watches are not supported, believe it or not. They're not getting Wear OS 3. So this is getting something that Motorola is not even getting on their latest generation of smartwatches. I don't know about the next ones that they have coming out, but that's pretty neat. So go ahead. It surprised me. I didn't think so at first, but it surprised me. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.